All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and immense honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, and Kakodash, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, being the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus, Bahara Kakodash, and the Holy Spirit, and double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and also sincere shalom to the hopeful elect and all the rest of the double honors as well to the elder bishops and all the men, the prophets that teach this word, and the hopeful elect, man, woman, and child of the true nationality bloodline of the true biblical Israelites, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigner Gentiles that might look like the heathen. And the title of this lesson will be, why don't you ninjas uphold your own communities first? Okay. Uphold your own communities first. And I'm speaking to the Israelites. Okay. All right. And if you don't know what it means to be an Israelite, you might need to read the Bible and study. Okay. But let me open up with this. I got some videos, because what I'm going to show you, these videos is about Jake, the sons of Jacob, you Israelites, you princes of power. You're supposed to be the physical counterpart, an extension of the Most High here on the earth. Okay. All right. In the sight of all of these nations. Okay. Inside of the Asian man, in the sight of the white man, in the sight of the so-called Arab man. And these are pseudo nationalities. These are not the real nationalities of these nations that I just called them. Okay. They actually have biblical nationalities, which was altered by the so-called white man. So you wouldn't know who he is according to the Bible, because he's the wicked according to the Bible, which also is known as the devil according to the Bible. All right, man. Now my phone is tripping, so bear with me, man. Shit. Okay, so let me just read this, because you got all of these Israelites, all you Jakes, you Negro, Latino, Native American, you're complaining to the so-called white man. All right, as if he's your fucking daddy or something. All right, you're complaining, but your communities, okay, are destroyed, man. Okay, and why don't you niggas start at your house first? Okay, well, let's start with this. I want to look up the word delusional and the word community, because I know the answer. The Most High has you Jakes in a delusion, man. Okay, because you accept not the love of the truth, but you're out here marching, protesting, screaming at the top of your lungs, going to these city meetings and complaining. But among your own people are found wicked men. Okay, as the scriptures tell you, among my people are found wicked men. All right. A lot of the tactics that these heathen, the enemies of our people, okay, have against us wouldn't even work if we was knitted, okay, together in one mind and one body under Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Okay, this is Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, and what family? Okay, the family of Jacob, not all nations. Okay, the Israelites were delivered from Egypt, not all nations. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you, okay, for all your iniquities. You see? So again, this is the way that our people should be conducting. Okay, if you know anything about, you have children, you let your children go outside, they get into some trouble, they come home. Okay, it's known about, them getting in trouble, and you send their friends off. You send their friends home, and you discipline your children. Well, that's what the scripture is saying. You only have I known of all the families of the earth, speaking about the other nations. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. And that goes back to Deuteronomy 28. And Lord's willing, we hit that. Can two walk together except they be agreed? And our people are not walking together. Okay, they're walking together when it comes to wickedness. All right, but every one of our people have a different, different mindset, a different, truth. Okay. And we're supposed to be one nation. Gather yourselves together, O ye my people, O ye nation undesired. Okay. So let's start. Let's play this video. What does it say? I think it's in Peter's. Judgment starts at the house of the Lord. Okay. First. And then judgment starts towards the heathen, which judgment goes out day and night constantly towards our, okay, towards all nations. But as far as where we're at in prophecy, okay, Jacob's trouble is what this is talking about. Okay. And the Lord wants his people to get their houses in order, which is get your mind right, get your family together, get your, cut off the, the heavy, the cancer if you need be. The Lord gave us a parable about that, about keeping your eyes single and how it's better to enter into the kingdom maimed, and it's parabolically speaking. If you got to lose an eye, pluck it out rather than your whole body being cast into the fire. And that's dealing with those nuclear missiles. So as a nation, we're supposed to be doing this as well. But let's play this first video. Then I want to look up the word delusional. I'm going to open with this video. Get a gist of what I'm talking about.
Well, y'all better start getting on board. Because bitch, if it came a war, fuck that. Let's go to war. Let's do it. Because you can't be rational with these people. Like I say, these European motherfuckers, they broke the world, dog. They broke the world. That's why I tell white people, you can't be mad at black people because we don't have the power to govern what's going on in your life. So blaming black folks, all that says is that you don't fuck with black people. You a piece of shit for that. That's all it says, dog. You got common sense to know that black people ain't your problem. Your own people your problem. And if you don't want to see that, you want to look over that, there's something wrong with you, man. Get out the way. But now it's a lot of people that overlook that shit like they crazy, deaf, dumb, and blind. Man, fuck that, man. It's time to go to war. In order for you to be found, your ass must first be lost. And in America, they doing a damn good.
Well, for one, you lost. Okay, you're quoting all of the misguided information that the so-called white man gave you, that he's a European, he's an Edomite according to the scriptures, and under you believing in that pseudoscience that the so-called white man is a European. Guess what? Then that means you believe in pseudoscience. You believe in this man's history. All right, which sets you at a complete disadvantage. And obviously you don't know that, hey, the scriptures say never trust thine enemy. The scriptures make it clear that these nations, these heathens are our enemies. So you shouldn't even have trust in these people in the first place. Okay. At this point, we're at war with ourselves, man. Okay. And everybody, all you Israelites, you want to debate why, why this, why that, why we went down as a nation. Okay. I mean, look, okay, you're completely divided. Even the scriptures say, if Satan's house divided, how shall it stand? And we're not Satan's house. Okay. We're the Most High's. We're supposed to be the Most High's building, man. And we're divided. So how shall we stand? Okay. Again, so I just wanted to I'm going to bring these few videos out and we're going to hit a few scriptures because I want to. These Jakes, man, they'll hopscotch over the fact that you Negro Latinos and Native Americans can't be trusted with one another. Let's not even talk about the women. Okay, that's even worse, that the women of our nation, which we have to bear children with, the woman is the first one to nurse the children and to supposedly instill the legacy of the father within the children. Well, that's completely backwards. Okay, so there's war within the family structure of the Israelite community. The woman is set up as, the authority over the man. Okay, if you want to be honest, okay, the Israelite household is a matriarch. Okay, among the men, there's no trust, there's no community, there's no honesty. Okay, there's no loyalty, there's no integrity, there's no moral. Okay, a completely destroyed nation. All right. So it makes it easy for the enemy to come in. All right. And, again, you're not supposed to be going to the enemy for the one of all, for your counsel. You're supposed to go to the Lord. Isaiah the 30th chapter. Okay. That's an oxymoron. You're going to complain to your enemy of why he's dogging you out. What did we just pull? Let's open this up. And I want to.
We pay their salaries. And again, we do not pay them to murder our children. So what's going to happen here, we're going to be men and we're not going to be afraid. You understand that? You do not kill our children. And this cycle.
Look at the little grin on that Edomite's face. Could be a Jake, but you know, at this point, nobody takes you niggas serious. Okay? It can't take you serious. You're just a minstrel case, you know. I'm sure that guy's thinking like, man, this guy right here, another fucking nigger, you know. Because you're like the black woman, you just talk and you want to sound good in your ego and look as if you're standing up, you know, as a revolutionary for your people. But in all actuality, it's just a minstrel show. Okay, the true revolution starts with this knowledge. Okay, you know and understand what's going on, why things the way they are, so that you can make the proper moves. Okay.
Right here, he hired the last killer. That's what do not kill our children. You are not allowed to kill our children. And chief of police, okay? You need to hire civilized professional police officers.
Everybody's used to just hearing you niggas put on a minstrel show and talk. No one takes you serious. They ain't even got to get security for dude. It's like, okay, let them talk. You niggas kill each other every day behind the dumbest shit. I mean, you make songs about it. You get Grammys about it. You know, how about you boycott the music? How about you boycott, okay, the music, BET, okay, that showcases the black woman, the Israelite woman. Hey, the Latin woman is the, you know, is portrayed around the whole earth as the biggest prostitute in the world. Okay. And you wanna complain about other, you know, nations disrespecting the women or killing you niggas glorify. Okay, I don't see you Jakes coming together, you know, getting solid men to go and take down these gang members that's writing all over your houses and your walls and your communities. You got guns like they got guns, right?
So we can remain civilized, okay? Right. Okay? All right? And I'm just telling you, no longer we will remain civilized as long as you deal with your trash. Right. Take out your trash so we don't have to take it out. You understand?
Nah, you niggas take your own fucking trash out first. Okay, let me get something before I move. But first, let me grab this real quick. Then we're gonna hit something real quick. All right, Jake don't even know this. Keep not thou silence, Psalms 83:1. O God, hold not thy peace and be not still, O God, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. And this is speaking about the other nations outside of the nationality of the Israelites. Okay, you Negro Latinos and Native Americans, you all divided among one another. You hate each other. That's a big thing going on in social media right now. Okay? Or why the blacks ain't coming out to protest immigration with us. It says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Yeah, the crafty counsel. Okay, so not only is, okay, you being divided as a people, okay, and not, you know, setting your own community in order, all right, but also you're dealing with a crafty enemy that's going to capitalize off any weakness you got. Okay, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For example, like the jail complex system. Well, you don't have to go to jail. Okay, yeah, there's racial profiling. There's different policies that set you up. But if you're dealing with wisdom and you notice, you could step around it. Okay, you could be precautious knowing that you're behind enemy lines. Okay, but that's not how you Jakes move. You're not moving in wisdom. The Lord told us we're among wolves, to move wise as a serpent, man. And he said a serpent because a serpent is crafty and subtle, all right, and also deceitful. And that's the type of enemy we're dealing with. But you Jakes you don't have no knowledge to do good, but you have all the knowledge in the world to do evil, as the scriptures say. Okay. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And then it lists all these nations, going and starting with the so-called white man, the Edomites. All right. So you're just looking like a goddamn, all right, you're just running around just being a menstrual case. Okay, nobody cares, okay, what you Jake's got to say at this point, because you don't even care about each other. And that's a dishonorable thing to look down upon. Okay, you can't respect a people that hates themselves. Okay, the black woman, a lot of so-called black men, we love who we are. We wouldn't have it no other way. But then on the flip side, you got our women. Okay, they prance in front of the world as if we hate ourselves, because our women, they putting on blonde wigs. Okay, they cutting their face up with plastic surgery, getting all these nose jobs, these BBL, and then these nations look at it like, oh, well, that's how they all feel. Okay, this is 2 Chronicles 6:16. Now, therefore, O Lord Yahweh of Israel, of Israel, see, keep with thy servant David, my father. My bad, let me go up. 1 second. I think I started at the wrong. Damn. 1 second, man. What am I doing? Okay. As promised, they shall not fail. Man. 1 second. Damn, man, what the fuzz is going on, man? 6:16. Now I gotta go back here, Salaki, man. Bear with me, man. And his phone is slow as hell, man. What the hell is going on? It won't even. 1 second. I gotta get this preset that I was trying to bring out. Man, this phone is bugging, man. I didn't even hit. What's that? 1 second. Bear with me, please. There it is. Just want to open up this precept. Now, therefore, that ain't it. What the fuck, man? Why does this shit keep hitting shit I ain't tell it to? The astonishment. Oh, there it is. 2 Chronicles 7, my bad. 21. 2 Chronicles 7:21. This is where all the knowledge is at, man, in the scriptures. But to our people, this is boring. This is the white man's book. Okay? These scriptures condemn the so-called white man. And this is why he's hidden the true nationality of his own nationality and all the other nationalities, as well as our nationality. But he stole our nationality. Okay? And he's calling himself, okay, the people of the Most High. Man, what? You see how this phone is tripping? And then I'm actually hitting buttons. It won't even let me. Oh my God, man. Fuck. Bear with me, man. It's a bugged out ass phone, man. I gotta get a new phone. 7:21. All right, this is 2 Chronicles 7:21. Okay. Let's just start right here. 2 Chronicles 7:19. But if ye turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods and worship them, then I will pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them. And this is why you Negro Latinos and Native Americans are not in your land. And to you so-called Latino and Native American tribes, Mexico and America, the Americas is not your land as well. Now you sailed over here, okay, in times past. Okay, that history is found in 2 Esdras, the 13th chapter, when you came out of the Assyrian captivity. So yeah, you discovered the land first, and then it goes all the way back to King Solomon. Our people been coming over here, but this is not your land. Okay. It says, but if you turn away and forsake, 19, my statutes, commandments. And if you look at our people, they have no judgment. There is no judgment. There is no moral and conduct, moral integrity conduct among them. They used to have it somewhat, but it's all been beaten out of them. It's all been enchanted out of them. Okay, our people are under sorcerers and enchantments and hypnotism right now. Okay, that's why I opened up with Psalms 83. The enemy, okay, they've taken crafty counsel against you, and that's a conspiracy. They've conspired, okay, different enchantments and sorceries, you know, through the TV, through the history books, through the school system, and all the information you intake and that your parents took, to the point where you don't even, okay, you don't have a foundation anymore. Okay, you don't have any roots, which, okay, you lost that a long time ago, man. All right, when you forsook the Lord, man. And now you just serve idols. You're into Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism, okay, the Muslim faith. All of those are idols. Jesus Christ, idol, man. Okay, and forsook my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods and worship them. Then will I pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them, and this house which I have sanctified for my name. Yeah, the people before it's a place, our people. That's the house it's talking about. Will I cast out of my sight, and will make it to be a proverb and a byword among the nations. See, and these other nations look at you as what, niggas and beaners and all this shit. Okay, and want you out of the country. Why? Because the Lord scattered you among these nations and made you a proverb and a byword among them. You see? And this house, which represents the nation of Israel, our people, which is high, shall be an astonishment, see, to everyone that passeth by it. So that he shall say, why hath the Lord done this unto this land and unto this house? And it shall be answered, because they forsook the Lord, the power of their fathers, see, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and laid hold on other gods and worshiped them and served them. Therefore hath he brought all this evil upon him. So it's the Most High that's brought this evil upon you, Jakes. And you don't even have a foundation to stand on, because you no longer even know your own history. You no longer know who you are. Okay, let me get this, and then we're going to get the word delusional. And it's because of the Most High has put a spirit of delusion, great delusion on you, Jakes, man. On you Israelites out here, because you're not right. Okay, you don't get to taste of this heavenly truth, this bread of heaven, this manna, this spiritual bread. Okay, this treasure chest right here, this knowledge we have, the spirit of the Lord, and be malicious. You don't get to have both worlds, bro. It says, even him who's coming. Oh, my bad. It says, okay, even him who's coming. All right, 2 Thessalonians 2:9 is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. This is talking about the man of sin, the man of perdition, which it goes into at the top of the chapter. This is speaking about the Edomites. This is who Paul was talking about, the so-called white man. At that time when Paul wrote this, he was speaking about the Romans, which are Edomites, okay, according to the Bible. Today, the so-called white man, okay, they come after the workings of the adversary. That's what the word Satan means, minus the mythology behind it. Okay, the word Shaitan, Hebrew, just means adversary. He comes as the adversary with all power and signs and lying wonders. Okay, dealing with his technology, his pseudoscience, his propaganda, his lies. Okay, that it's a power unto him. And if you believe it, if you don't know the truth, then guess what? You're going to be deceived. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish. Yeah, and you 2/3, you Jakes, are perishing because you've been deceived by this devil. Okay? And you believe in the unrighteousness of the so-called white man. Otherwise, you wouldn't go to this man to ask him for nothing. Okay? You follow the tune of the prophets, man. All right? And you just be waiting on the Lord, doing your own thing, not being ensnared in the devices of Satan, because Pretty much what these riots was about was pretty much just more control. Okay, more control coming after the fact of these riots. Okay, your government, passing executive orders to bring more control in the streets, closer to martial law. Also, get you Latinos, you tribes on paper and on video, okay, doing the crime. All right, so that they can highly persecute you and genocide you as they want to fulfill. Okay. And with all deceivableness, this is 10, and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, which is this truth that we preach, that they might be saved. And for this cause, Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Yeah, so you're under a delusion and you believe a lie. You got all these talking points, you got all these questions, and they can be answered easily via the scriptures, via the prophets. Okay, but you're at war with what? With who? With yourself at this point. Okay, let's look up the word delusion and play the rest of these videos. Delusional. And what is that? I think it's Jeremiah 17. The Lord said he shall choose their delusions. Delusional etymology. The word delusional comes from Latin word deludere, meaning to deceive or to mock. Yeah, so you've been deceived. The scriptures say that the elect are not ignorant to Satan's devices. We're not deceived by Satan's, All right, we understand what it is. This is a spiritual war we're in. Okay, and we're dealing with spirits in high places. We're dealing with an evil nation of people, all right, that have been given the authority, okay, to do the bidding of the spiritual demon Satan. Okay, delusional, being afflicted with them. Let's see the word community. Didn't the Lord say commune with him, partake in his communion? Okay, drink his blood and eat his flesh, meaning be at one, okay, with his baptism, be at one with his mind, which is the mind of prophecy. See, the elect are watching, okay, as watchmen, okay, and we're being occupied in prophecy, in the deep things of these scriptures, the dark sayings. The more we unlock, the more we understand. All right. And we hope to have these words within our minds and our hearts locked in the evil days to come, which is going to strengthen our faith. And it's the only way you're going to make it out. The word community has a fascinating etymology, tracing back to Latin and French origins, ultimately signifying sharedness, okay, or togetherness. It evolves from the Latin communitas, meaning community, public spirit, okay. So togetherness. Okay, we already read it. How shall two walk lest they be agreed? Okay. And what are we supposed to be agreed by? Okay, let me get this last script and we're going to go to play the rest of that videos. Behold, this is Deuteronomy 4:5. I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. So wherever you Jakes are in the land, you're supposed to uphold, okay, the judgments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, and he doesn't even expect us to keep them perfectly, but you're supposed to uphold righteousness. You're supposed to uphold, okay, your woman being in order, being dressed in modest apparel. You're supposed to uphold treating your neighbor, okay, as thyself. You're supposed to uphold, okay, having faith in the Most High and praying to the Most High daily and trusting in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for all things. You're supposed to uphold, okay, the factor of disciplining, okay, your children and raising them up in the Lord. You're supposed to uphold the dietary law. You're supposed to uphold the high holy days to the best of your ability. You're supposed to rehearse the righteous acts. Okay, you're not supposed to be a simp and a trick, a whoremonger, a pimp, and all of these different, It says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. Now, we already got the other scripture in Chronicles, the 7th chapter, okay, of how we look in the sight of these nations, how we look like a joke, how we're scattered, how we look brought down. Okay. And what happens when something is condemned and brought down? Well, hey, it's open for, anybody can come in and peek around and have their way. And that's what the nations are to us. They can have their way with us because we don't even have any communion ourselves. It says, wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great who hath Yahweh or God so nigh unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? You see, and here in America, you can see the attempt at, the so-called Constitution, the so-called white man trying to have something as great as our laws, statutes, commandments, but it's not so. Okay. The Bible stands victorious over thousands of years as the #1 selling book of all time. Okay, so our people, we already got it sports wise, being the salt of the earth, being creative, being, master builders and stuff like that. Okay, being, influencing these other nations. But when it comes to righteousness or the wisdom of the scriptures, our people don't understand that these nations would get in line. And ultimately they'd get in line because the Lord would be with us. Okay. See, these nations, they don't, they partake in the niggerdom that our people do, but they actually have a way about themselves. They have a lot of these nations still have a royal mentality about themselves. That's why they look down on you, Jakes. That's why there's a phrase, everybody want to be black, but they don't want to be a nigga or something like that, because they understand, okay, among each other, you guys, okay, you have you have a servant, okay, mentality. Let me get this scripture real quick. My hand. Should. Cannot save. You Jakes are just lost, man. You're completely lost. Isaiah 59. Okay, yeah, I figured it was right there. Isaiah 59. You're lost. And we know, according to prophecy, you're not going to get it. Okay, you're going to die in your trespasses and your ignorance. But hey, these lessons are done as a call out to the elect. The Lord said, if you love me, feed my sheep. All right. Behold, the Lord Yahweh's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear you. And according to you Jakes out there, you believe you're Gentiles. You believe that the law is done away with under the pseudo religion of Christianity and these false philosophies of this world. A lot of you don't even believe in the Bible. You don't believe that that's supposed to be your go-to. Okay, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And because they reject knowledge, I reject them. You even reject the knowledge. All right, because the so-called white man don't validate it. Okay, it's not authentic to you. Okay. And it's the same man you running around begging, For your hands are defiled with blood and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies. Your tongue hath muttered perverseness. This is you Israelites out here. You Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. So you're in the sight of the Most High. You're criminals. You're not blameless. Even though these nations, for some, certain things, particularly, they don't have a right to do what they do to you. But hey, all that matters is that you're guilty in the sight of the Most High. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. And this is what the wicked does. And here it is. You're supposed to be a righteous, holy vine of a nation, but you've exceeded the wickedness of these heathen nations that were created. Okay, they were left to do wickedness. You see? 8, the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. See? And then this is a whole nation of people that glorify, okay, wicked judgment going forth, but no righteous judgment. You get rewarded for being a bad bitch, a slut, a whore, being a gangbanging nigga, a stupid nigga that destroy your own people. All right. But when it comes for righteous judgment, what should we do? Nobody have nothing to say. Therefore is judgment far from us, neither does justice overtake us. We wait for light, but behold obscurity, for brightness, but we walk in darkness. Okay, it's like you're blind. Pertaining to what? Romans the 11th chapter, it said that the Most High has done it, but the elect hath found that which he seeketh for. And that's this truth. So we don't have to move in haste or, try to figure something out. We need to go down to the city hall. No, we know what the whole script is. We know what the whole play is. We grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in the night. We are in desolate places as the dead men, like zombies. That's what our people have become. And to be in this dark state is being incentivized by the wicked, so that you stay in that state, so that the so-called white man can stay on top of you. Okay, read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter below the 15th verse. It goes into all the sufferings and the dealings that you Israelites are cursed under right now. And it's because you're rebellious to your own power. Okay, where is that in Judith? Let me try to find that, and we're going to play these videos out. Just want to make these points. 1 second. Oh, man, is it 10? 1 second. Okay. 100. Okay, it might be a 5. Let's see. Here it is. Rid of the face of the children, for Lord, the people that have no strength. Face strong down. Here it is. Okay, this is Judith 5. Okay. And 20. Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, speaking about our people, and they sin against their power or their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up and we shall overcome them. You see that? So these nations know that. And I'm speaking about, and this is in the ancient world. Now, these elites of the so-called white men, the Edomites, they know this. So they keep pumping out more poison to you. Okay. What should be hate speech when it comes to the rap music and all this gang activity, you niggas posting guns in your videos and what you gonna do to one another, that's not considered hate speech. Okay, as long as they keep that cycling in your communities, okay, they'll give you incentives, they'll incentivize you, give you platforms for being gang members, give you movies, give you clout. Okay, this is why our women running around talking about that they want a gangster and a scammer. Because it's propagandized, as something highly, okay, even though it's demonized, okay, it's also propagandized as something, okay, cool, or the standard of masculinity and stuff like that. Very, very deceitful and very deceptive how this man, okay, is dealing with our people, man. Okay. But if there be no iniquities, it's 21, in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them. Yeah, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And this is why our enemies, these nations, want to keep us in this state of degeneracy, of delusion. Phone had to chime. You see that? The Lord said he's going to, deliver the electo from those bonds of darkness, from those chains of darkness. you know, meaning being asleep. Okay, meaning you don't have his knowledge. Okay, we are being delivered from that. This is the beginning of our salvation. Okay, receiving this truth. Let's play this video, man. Let's play the rest of these little videos. You hear me? Yeah, Jake could listen to this lesson and just be like, man, that Jake could turn it off. All right. It says, yeah, again, why don't you niggas uphold your own communities? It's talking to you Spanish speaking niggas as well. Okay. And again, I'm freestyling this, so I didn't get to take notes on any particular
They pull my ass over and they think I got
Driving while black.
drugs. Exactly.
Maybe your people should commit less crimes, you know. Sorry. The truth ain't nothing but the truth. When you got, we want to do some statistics. Let's look at the population of the United States. You got 13% black, maybe 15, you know.
Okay.
99% of all the murders, and it's you killing each other.
I ain't kill nobody.
Black people kill black people. They just loot and rob and steal from every store.
Who is they?
They black people. Y'all.
You got the so-called white man got to tell you niggas about yourself. And for one, all that statistic shit, okay, a lot of that is pseudo. It's false. But you have no choice to believe in it because you don't know your place within the scriptures. Okay, you don't know that, okay, the devil, of course, he's going to tell you this. He's going to have everything aimed at you as a weapon. Everything's going to be weaponized against you. Statistics, okay, pharmacia, medicine, GMO, everything. Okay. Let me get this. I know it's in Psalms 50 something, maybe 55. Though you know, how many generations have you, Jake's, been trusting in the presidents, these different presidents, to make some type of policy changes for you, for the better? How many generations you've been trusting in, okay, this or that medicine to come forth? You just been trusting in the so-called white man for everything. Okay, you was better coming straight out of slavery because shit, you had to trust in the Most High. All right, because wasn't nobody coming to your salvation. But as soon as you got comfortable coming out of hardcore bondage, you just went back to tripping again. Okay, here it is right here. Let's get this. Okay. This is Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. This is talking about the wicked. And this could apply to anybody. But what nation of people, and this is actually speaking about the wicked, not the. Malachi, the first chapter, there's a nation of people, the Edomites, the so-called white man, are a nation of evil people. Okay, that are given wholly unto Satan. Okay, if you understood this, okay, the words of their mouth smoother than butter. Okay, you would at least have a leg to stand on, a foundation, because you would understand. Okay, I can't lean upon this devil for nothing. Okay, we're behind enemy lines. We got to be real wise. Okay, we got to see the snares and the traps. Okay, he privily laid snares in the lurking places. Let's get that. Let Job. Okay, he privily laid snares. Forget where that's at. Got you Jakes thinking you come from, you're just African booty scratchers. You're savages. Okay, that has a part to play. That has a part to play in your psyche, in how you view yourself, how you conduct. Okay. It says, one second. This is Psalm 64 in 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Yeah, conspiracy. from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And they're so crafty at this, they get you to do their own bidding, to destroy yourself. Okay, or to set up the false accusation yourself. You fall right into the trap to where they can actually accuse you for something you actually did. And see, the hopeful elect, we're going to be accused and persecuted and labeled among the transgressors, but we're going to be justified, blameless by Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's all that matters, because we're behind enemy lines. That's only hope we got is in Yahweh Shemel Shai. Who whet their tongue like a sword. Yeah, they sharpen their tongue like a sword. They weaponize the news. Okay, all they do is lie and deceive you. Okay, and blame you with their statistics and stuff like that. All right, and bend their bows, and this is parabolic, to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Yeah, nothing but criminal. Hey, these riots are it's full of agent provocateurs, so-called white people getting the thing kicked off, and you Jakes fall right into it. Okay, follow the leader syndrome. You just come, all right, now you ready, you ready to do mischief as well. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune, laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? You see that? Okay. 7, but God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. And it's okay. The first arrow that's been shot is this truth, which is a bonus. Okay. Which is a lifeline. Okay. To the elect. All the lies and the secret counsels and the whetting of their tongue like a sword. Okay. All coming to naught. Okay. Just by one simple breath that we've been given, which is his truth, the spirit of Hamashiach, which the rest of our people can't receive because they're malicious at heart, man. So yeah, if you understood these scriptures, all right, you'd be in a better place. You Jakes wouldn't even be out there. Okay? You wouldn't even be complaining to this devil. You can't go to your enemy, okay, and ask them for nothing. You got to take it. The scriptures say, okay, that the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. And there's a specific order that builds up to us taking the world back, bro, because that's what the kingdom is. This entire globe in the universe, all right? We're going to take it. All right, but you Jakes don't see, okay, that order fit. You don't want to hearken to the way the Lord set this up. He wrote the whole script. Okay? We have to do it lowly. We have to get it out the mud, okay? The last should be first and the first should be last. The servant is no greater than his master. We have to follow the same path as Yahweh Shai. Okay? But, okay, let's play this last video. I'm sure we'll be up out of here. One second. See what else we got right here right now. Oh, so that was let's get this last scripture then. That was it. One second. It's all over the place. John 15:22. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not sinned, but now they have no cloak for their sin. You see? So if the Most High hadn't sent his prophets, because right now we have the spirit of Yahweh Shai on us, which is the spirit of prophecy, Revelation 19th chapter. Yahweh Shai is not coming a second time until he comes to enact that vengeance and deliver the elect. So before that, it starts with his knowledge. He'll come in the form of, okay, his spirit, the Holy Spirit that he will place upon the elect. Okay, his body. Okay, one body, many members, parabolically speaking. Okay, the first fruits, the elect, the chosen. And so with that, man, we're going to wrap it up. Lord's willing, this was edifying. Hey, till next time, shalom.